Good evening. There we go. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please stand for the national anthem? Let's have another round of applause for the Lewis Ensemble. They have been here to help kick off SpaceApps many times over the years, and we're thankful to have them again this year. So thank you very much. I am Sarah Dukevich. I am the lead organizer for SpaceApps Cleveland. I am also your MC this evening. So you will see and hear me a lot. Sorry, fair warning. So yes, this is the 2019 International Space Apps Challenge here at NASA Glenn. Just a heads up as to what's going on this evening. So I'm going to do a quick introduction, and then I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Marla Perez-Davis. She'll do our opening remarks. Then we have a guest speaker. Then I'm going to give you guys about a 10 to 15 minute break, because after a long talk, a break is helpful. And then we'll come back, and Herb and I will come back and do the usual song and dance of this is what we do, and housekeeping rules, and then how to move from there for team formation. Sound good? Awesome. Well then, I'd like to introduce Dr. Marla Perez-Davis. She's our acting center director here at NASA Glenn.
Good afternoon. All right, let's wake up. Good afternoon. All right, but put it this way. The only thing you have to do is just spare me for the next 5 minutes, and I'm telling you the talk is going to get really, really, really good. Where is Dog? It's right there. So this is the person you want to hear. It's not me. So let's keep this very, very brief. Welcome to NASA Glenn. How many has been here before? Okay, we have a show of hands. That's really good. For those of you that haven't been here, and for those of you that are visiting us for the second time, welcome to NASA Glenn and the SpaceApp 2019. We are very excited to have you all here, being part of this event, and looking for your solutions to the NASA challenges of this year. Now it is our 8th year, and out of those 8, my understanding is 5, you have been coming to NASA Glenn. So this is great. It's good to have all of you in attendance. Cleveland has been the location for the Space Apps since the first year. This is, as I said, the 5th year that is being held here. And the teams engage with NASA free and open data to address real-world problems on Earth and in space. And when we talk in space, that's, real challenges. It's not about what we're doing now, but if really we're going to have the next woman or the next man and the first woman on the moon by 2024, and then we're going to live sustainable on Mars, on the moon, and then to Mars, that is going to be a huge challenge. It's not just about getting there, but it's also staying there and the communication and how we protect the communication between, planet Earth, the moon, Mars, and beyond. So what you do makes it different. What you do get us to understand and learn more about our systems and how to protect those systems. So thank you so much for that. And in the meantime, it's also fun, right? That's what you do it, for the fun of it. So thank you so much. So this event will not be possible without the amazing support and collaboration of our community partners. Thank you to all of them. While NASA partners with the community, often it is rare that, our partners, we have so many partners for a wide diversity of organizations, such as the Cuyahoga County Public Library, the local community business partners such as Maker Gear, other business partners such as Morrison Product, the technical community support in part with Cleveland Tech Consulting, and individuals who are helping just because they have such much a passion for the NASA mission and what we are still to discover. We attract competitors from throughout the region and not just in Ohio. Those competitors include Dr. Andrea Mitkowski and some of her students and colleagues from Trine University in Angola, Indiana, who have made the trip for many years. And we have grown to include a student day to introduce K-12 students to the wonderful world of hackathons. Our community truly embraced the concept of cooperation, where we compete against each other and cooperate with each other when the situation calls for. We have fun in the name of science, and that's what it matters. So with that, thank you so much for being here again, and looking forward to another way to looking at NASA challenges and solutions. And enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, now, next up, we have astronaut Doug Wheelock talk to us about Artemis and Orion. If you haven't met him, he will be coming up, but some things he's done, he has been on the STS-120 and the ISS-25 missions, and he's currently the Associate Director of Safety and Mission Assurance. I've got notes and I can't read them. But astronaut Wheelock is here. So a round of applause for astronaut Wheelock.
How is my mic here? Is this mic good? Okay, awesome. Not yet. Can you back up there? There we go. Thank you. Hey guys, I'm Doug Wheelock. Everybody calls me Wheels at NASA. I wish it was because I was a fast runner or had a cool car or something, but my last name's Wheelock, so they call me Wheels. They called me Wheels in high school as well. But so you can call me Wheels. Who recognizes the history that we made today in space? Megan? Repeat that.
We had two female spacewalks, or we had two females in a single spacewalk today.
That's right, spacewalkers. The first time ever that we've had two women out on a spacewalk, and they did excellent. There was 7 hours and 17 minutes. And they accomplished all of their tasks along with some get-aheads. So very proud of Christina Cook and Jessica Meir. They were outside in this suit that you see here. This is a picture of me in 2010. This suit is called the EMU, the Extravehicular Mobility Unit, Extravehicular Activities, is what our fancy words for a spacewalk. And they wear this big suit. This thing weighs about 350 pounds, but in space, it's weightless. It just kind of floats around. But the thing that you have to remember, when you're looking at any kind of SpaceApps or anything that you're trying to develop for life in space, the F still equals ma in space. So force equals mass times acceleration. So this is a lot of mass, 350 pounds, and then you put 200 pounds inside of there. You've got a quarter ton of mass that you're moving around, and so it's just a very gentle touch. And now I feel very fortunate that I was able to train Christina and Jessica, and so they actually call me Papa Wheels on the space station now, so you can call me Papa Wheels too. It's a term of endearment for me. But Jessica and Christina made history today with the first all-women female spacewalk. So that for the young ladies in here and the young girls that are looking to come and work with us at NASA, there's a place for you. And it's going to get really exciting here in the next few years. Now, I grew up in a small town in upstate New York. It was on the west side of the Catskills. Anybody ever been in upstate New York? I just came from there, actually. I was visiting my mom, okay? The leaves are beautiful up there, by the way. I hit peak season, so I just spent a couple days this week with my mom up there. And I remember growing up in that little town. In fact, I rode with my mom down to my elementary school because it was a very, very small, still a very small town and a very small school. And I was 9 years old when we put people on the moon on Apollo 11. And I remembered as a little boy, we had a little black and white TV. And I remember watching it. It was in July, of course, so it was during our summer break. It was late at night for us when we watched them on the moon. But I remember my dad calling us in, and he had like the bunny ear, rabbit ear antennas, on the TV, just to getting it just so we could see those first kind of shadowy steps on the lunar surface. And I didn't know how that was going to affect my life because I was just an ordinary kid from this tiny little town, this little school, and nobody ever did anything very extraordinary from my hometown. And I kind of felt ordinary, but I looked at my dad, and he kind of had a tear in his eye, and I thought, like, this is really something very profound. And I went into fourth grade that next year. It was a couple months later. We would go to start school right after Labor Day. So I went there in September, and we had my fourth grade teacher was Christine West, and she was a brand new teacher. The capital of the state of New York is Albany, and she went to the State University of New York at Albany, the big city up in Albany, And she came to this tiny little town to teach us. And she came in, and she was so excited about the moon landing, and we were too as well. But it was like something that you read about in fantasy stories or something, like fairy tales. But that first day, she said, "Who saw the moon landing?" And I raised my hand. She said, "One day you could do that too." And we all kind of snickered a little bit. It was like, she's crazy. She has no idea where she is in this tiny little town, this tiny little place. No one ever did anything special coming from this little town. And I thought that through the years, I kept remembering back. That was the single thing that I remember about fourth grade. I remember some other little things like field trips we took and everything, but I remember that moment, the first day, because I thought, like, Christine West, she was crazy to let us think that we could do something like this, that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walking around on the moon. And as I went through my flying career, I kept thinking back, I wonder if she was right. I wonder if she knew what she was talking about. And I got to NASA in 1998. I started as an astronaut, and I was selected. My first day as an astronaut was August 24th, 1998. I had a brand new electric blue suit, no patches on it. I just had the NASA patch and my name. And I walked in, and was like, "Where's my rocket? I'm ready to go." And 3 days later, August 27th, 1998, we had the astronaut reunion. And so all of the old pioneers would come back, and we'd have dinner, we'd have these technical briefings, we'd share a meal together, and we'd just talk about what life is like as an astronaut. And that night, we had tables just like this. I think we had 8 of us at a table for dinner. And they put all the rookies with some of the old pioneers, And I sat at a table with Neil Armstrong. It was my first time I got a chance to meet him. And I was nervous. I mean, my knees are kind of shaking right now just thinking back at that moment, because I sat there at that table, and all of these memories kept coming back. I had been an astronaut for 3 days, and here I'm sitting next to Neil Armstrong, and I didn't know what to say to him. And because I remember, I was thinking back, what do I say to Neil Armstrong? I'm just this like ordinary kid from this tiny little town in upstate New York. What do I have to share with Neil Armstrong? So, but it came time I had to say something. Some others were talking. He was telling some stories, and so I thought, I remembered how I felt when I watched them walking on the moon, and I wanted to know how he felt as like this superhero. Did it affect him like emotionally, spiritually? And so I said, "Mr. Armstrong, when you were on the moon, did you get a chance to, just a moment, to think of what a profound moment it was in human history. And he shared it, he goes, you know, I thought about that. I thought about my teachers. I thought about the engineers that built the rocket. I looked back, I knew that I had one chance to push that button to launch off the moon, and I was hoping that that was going to work. And he said, but the biggest thing that kept coming back to me is, how does an ordinary little boy from Wapakoneta, Ohio, end up standing on the moon? And we all kind of snickered, you know, and I thought, wait a second, that's kind of like my story too, you know. And the reality is, it took me till I was selected as an astronaut to figure it out. And Neil Armstrong taught the lesson to me. It's like, we're all just ordinary kids from ordinary places, ordinary schools. The difference is how you prepare your life for the dreams that you have inside of you, the things that you want to accomplish. This kind of reminded me, I put together some little clips here. This kind of reminded me of when I was riding, just kind of looking towards the stars when I was a kid, and see if you can recognize some of these old clips.
Reports it looks smooth.
We need to go back to the moon.
I think going to Mars would be cool.
I'm gonna fly the shuttle to Saturn. The first kid in space, that'd be cool.
The first step toward practical interplanetary travel.
We choose to go to the moon and dictate and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Is that your capsule sitting back there?
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, is that the crash helmet?
Oh, I hope not.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
8 miles high, and when you touch down.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. One small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
We need to make it go farther and faster. I would put a real cool stereo in the space shuttle.
I think we should make it glow in the dark so that people can see it at night.
I want to put more seats in it. I'm going to paint it day glow pink.
I will take all my music with me.
I would not take my sister.
I'd have to have seats for all of my friends. I want to be the first person to walk on Mars. I want to be a mission specialist.
I'm going to be the youngest commander ever.
I'm going to cure cancer in space.
We need the shuttle now more than ever. Doctor in space.
Payload specialist.
I want to go to Mars.
I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
I gotta think about it.
I gotta think about it. I want to do things people never thought of before.
Let's go to space now.
That was like me. I wanted to do things people had never dreamed of before. And this was the moment when I was a young kid and I could see that boot print on the moon, because I remember Miss West also telling us that they used to tell us that the sky's the limit. You can reach anything. The sky is no longer the limit because there are boot prints on the moon. And so that's the way you should consider your own dreams as well. The sky is no longer the limit for you. This was the paper the next day. We lived in upstate New York. We never got the New York Times, but this day my dad got the New York Times, I remember, and he read us these stories out of the New York Times, and it reminded me of the things that came in the intervening years after that as we watched people exploring and going on to the moon.
Roger the pitch. 7, 6, 5. Roger, roger. You're looking good. 3, 2, 1.
We are the explorers. We have a need to find what is out there. It is a drive inside each and every one of us. The drive to wonder, to push the boundaries, and to explore. We expanded across our lands, settling new frontiers. We took to the oceans and learned that we could cross treacherous expanses in the pursuit of discovery. And then we took to the skies and flew. But that wasn't enough. We left the planet and redefined what was possible. We flew in space. We walked in space. What once was a melodramatic flight of fantasy became reality. Then, a new generation of spaceships captured hearts and minds for 3 decades and helped build a castle in the sky that is our lasting home in space. We have always looked up. For centuries, we wondered what was on the other side of the sky, and we have begun to answer that question. We have learned that all the exploration humankind has achieved is only a beginning. Right now, men and women are working on the next steps to go farther than we have ever gone before. New vessels will carry us, and new destinations await us. Everything we have ever accomplished leads to this moment in time, where exploration will now take us to the planets and the stars. Our nearest neighbors in the night sky have beckoned us, invited us, dared us to reach for them. We are the explorers. Throughout our history, we have taken both small steps and giant leaps in that pursuit. Our next destination awaits. We don't know what new discoveries lie ahead, but this is the very reason we must go.
And we are going. We're getting ready to accept the, this is Papa Wheels in flight school, by the way. We're getting ready to accept the Artemis 1 vehicle. The crew module, the Orion module, and the service module are arriving here in Ohio for testing at NASA Glenn's Plumbrook Station out by Sandusky. So watch for that. It's going to be in the middle of November. It'll arrive in the Guppy, the big Guppy airplane that NASA has. Looks like a flying barn, if you haven't seen it, the Guppy. But it'll land at Mansfield at the airport, and then we'll have like a ticker tape parade up through the back roads up to Sandusky to Plumbrook Station as well. So it's going to go through a couple of months, a few months of testing out at Plumbrook Station right here at NASA Glenn. And then we're going to send it down to the Cape, and it's going to go out to the moon, and we're very excited about that. Of course, you know, all of this area, you guys are so lucky. I just moved here to Ohio, working in safety for our spaceship that we're going to be testing as well. I spent 20 years at Johnson Space Center in Houston, and now I'm up here where a lot of this all began. You know, Neil Armstrong got his NASA start. It was NACA back then, but he got his start up here, flying out of this field. In fact, he got out of the Navy, and he wanted to be part of this National Council on Aeronautics and Advisory Council on Aeronautics, and so they said, "Hey, I've got a great test pilot you should bring up here to NASA Lewis at the time," and it was Neil Armstrong. He's got his start up here, and then just a few years later, he was back down at NASA in Houston. But I mean, this is where it all began. These crazy guys, you know, that you see up on the screen, Wilbur and Orville Wright, you know, they were bicycle makers. And when you go to Dayton, you can see their bicycle shop that was there. And they were inventors. And everybody thought they were crazy, just like we thought Miss West was crazy when she said, one day you could go to the moon too, or you could fly in space. And everybody thought these guys were crazy. In fact, this, of course, was taken down. This is the first flight, which was only how long? The first flight? Anybody? 12 seconds, yeah? 12 seconds. Yeah, so in your life, not only are you ordinary just like I am, just like Neil Armstrong is, the difference is how you prepare your life for the extraordinary opportunities that come along. The next thing is when you wish away moments, sometimes we wish away time, and we miss these moments in our own existence, in our own development, in our own schooling, where we can capture the things that are there for us to learn. And this was only 12 seconds, and it changed the world. Now, down in North Carolina, of course, you know what it says on their license plates on their vehicles down there, right? First in flight, because this happened right there near Kill Devil Hills at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. But of course, up here in Ohio, what do we have on our license plates? Birthplace of aviation. That's right. That's because of these crazy guys. You know, in Huffman Prairie down there in Dayton, where they proved out their flying machines, had the world's first flying school there at Wright Field. And so it was all just a couple of dreamers, and it changed the world. And so your dream is no different. And the crazier the better when it comes to it, because these guys were nuts when they said, like, one day we're going to fly like birds. And we've seen all those old films, where people made machines that were kind of hopped along the ground, Well, that's kind of flying. Well, not really. And then people strapped wings on their arms and jumped off of bridges and buildings and things. That didn't work out so well, as they were trying to flap their arms. And so when they stood up and they said, one day we're going to fly like birds, of course, everyone thought they were crazy. It was a couple of years later now. I trained for 9 years. In 2007, I got a chance to go on the Space Shuttle Discovery. And some of the things you need to know about as you're looking at your apps and what can make life better in space is a lot of times the things that we're wrestling with are kind of the normal fears we have as human beings. And so in the astronaut corps, we teach our astronauts how to clearly define the difference between fear and danger in their lives. And so, but we do that all the time as humans, right? So now psychologists tell us that we're born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Everything else, every other fear that we have, now it's probably for a good reason. I'm afraid of snakes, so I just don't go near snakes. But my fear is that's a dangerous situation when I'm in close proximity to a snake. And so I use what knowledge I have and what things I've learned in life, and I just avoid or work my way out of that dangerous situation. That's what you do every day in your life, whether it's a problem that you face in school, a problem that you face in a relationship, maybe with your parents, maybe with a friend, that maybe you feel betrayed. The things that we deal with as normal things we deal with as human beings, we're all the time kind of triaging our own fears and our own sense of danger. And so I remembered what John Young told me. Now, John Young was the commander of the very first space shuttle, the Space Shuttle Columbia, and he also walked on the moon on Apollo 16. And he has a famous quote, you probably have heard it, but he was getting ready to fly the very first space shuttle with Bob Crippen, and they're kind of like on their way to the launch day, and they asked him and said, "Captain Young, are you afraid? Are you a little concerned?" He said, "Well, let's just put it this way. When you're getting ready to sit on top of a rocket, the largest hydrogen and oxygen fueled system in the world, and they're going to light the bottom of it, and you're not just a little bit worried, you don't fully understand the situation." And that's the situation I was in as well. I got a big smile on my face there, but when the time came, this is my launch in 2007.
T-minus 16 seconds. Sound suppression water system has been activated.
So this is the
Protecting
Space Shuttle
Discovery and the
Discovery.
launch pad from acoustical energy. We have a go for main engine start.
Now these
T-minus
engines on the
5,
back side of the shuttle
4,
are liquid
3,
engines.
2, 1.
And then the big candles on the
Booster
side
ignition.
are
And
solid
liftoff of
rocket.
Discovery,
Now it looks very smooth,
hoisting
doesn't it?
harmony to the heavens
It'll kind of roll
and
over on
opening
its
new
back. When you're
gateways for
inside,
international
it's
sites.
like you're on the end of a
Discovery has cleared
merry-go-round
the top.
because you can see the roll axis is right about the external tank. And so you see the big brown external tank. So you're sitting about 20 feet, 15, 20 feet. And so with the roll axis, you feel like you're on the end of a merry-go-round getting spun around. So actually a kind of a cool ride. It's a little violent during the launch, much more violent than I anticipated in the space shuttle. But then coming back home like a glider, very, very smooth. And I came back on STS-120. We were the sixth mission after the Columbia accident. And so after Columbia, of course, it came apart over the Texas, Louisiana area. And so we determined that we're going to come, because we were on a descending node into Kennedy. So when we're circling the Earth, it's the easiest way to recognize it is if you had a beach ball and then took a hula hoop around the Earth, the beach ball, and you put it at the equator, our inclination on the space station is tilted 51.6 degrees. So if you take the hula hoop, it's got to be centered around the center of mass of the Earth, of course. And so if you're 51.6 degrees north latitude over on this side of the Earth, you're 51.6 degrees south latitude on the other side of the Earth too. So the Earth is round. It's not flat. And so by virtue of doing that now, so you have, when you pass, of course it precesses to the west. We orbit the Earth once every 90 minutes. And once every 90 minutes, and we're round just like the moon. And so every 45 minutes, we get a sunrise or a sunset. And so it's pretty cool. Every day in space, on the space station, we get 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets every day. They're beautiful, each one in their own right. And when you're coming around to the landing sites, of course, we precess, as we take this 90 minutes to go around the globe, of course, the Earth is turning as well, and it turns 23 degrees on each 90 minutes. And so when we come back around that side of the Earth, our orbits precess to the west 23 degrees each successive orbit. So when you look at the screen at Mission Control and you see this big sine wave, that's why. It's because we've taken that globe, cut it, laid it out flat, and you can see our paths over the Earth. So. The moon, first thing I did when I got to space is rush to the window, and you could see the glow of the Earth. I was amazed at the Earth is it's so beautiful. It's like in the daylight hours, so when you're in your 45 minutes of day pass, it's just like an explosion of color in this vast empty sea of darkness. And so you can look out there, and the reason you can't see any stars in this photo is because they are all washed out by the intensity of the sun. Now, we're outside of the protective layer of the atmosphere, and so the sunlight, in direct sunlight, when you're in this suit, you're probably thinking to yourself, why does that thing have to be so, we've got 7 layers in that suit when they're outside in a spacewalk. Because in direct sunlight, it's about 300 degrees Fahrenheit in direct sun, just sitting there in the sun. And when we go into shadow 45 minutes later, it plummets to about 300 degrees below zero. So in 45 minutes, there's a temperature shift of about 500 to 600 degrees in temperature. And so it wreaks havoc on our mechanical equipment on the outside of the space station and also in the suits here as well. Now you might say, because you think to yourself, why are we always going out on spacewalks to fix things? Because they're exposed to, now part of this is our big experiment to send you guys to Mars. Who wants to go to Mars? We got a Mars walker? Okay, we got some Mars walkers here. So we're going to send you guys to the moon for a long duration stay on the gateway, and then we're going to send somebody out to Mars as well. And we're going to be away from home for quite a long period of time. And we need to be able to figure out how to sustain life as well. And so that's part of our experiment on the space station is how to develop systems that are outside in vacuum. We're learning everything that breaks out there. We're learning a little bit more and more each day. Now the Earth, here's you can actually see Cleveland in this image. It's a little bit kind of canted. We're actually looking sort of to the southwest. You can see down in the lower left is is Lake Ontario, and then you could see Lake Erie, you could see Cleveland there, and you could see the Niagara River and Niagara Falls even there. You could see Lake Huron and Lake Michigan as well. And the thin blue line that you see there, that's our atmosphere. That's the next breath for all of us, which is just amazing. And the thing that the stark contrast now, when I was a kid, my favorite planet was Pluto. Of course, you know, and Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of took that dream away, shattered that dream. But my favorite planet was Pluto. And when I was a kid, we knew nothing about Pluto. It was just a cool name, you know, like a Disney character. And when I was a kid, it was just a fuzzy dot, right? So, I mean, we couldn't even see Pluto with even our most powerful telescopes. But when I got to space and I could look back at our Earth, our beautiful Earth, no, this is a coral reef. It actually looks like an impressionist painting. And it's actually a coral reef. This is the Great Barrier Reef off the east coast of the country and continent of Australia. And just beautiful. And some of the science we were doing is helping kind of our maintain and kind of monitor the health of our coral reefs as well. This is what it's like inside of the Soyuz. So as you're thinking about life on Earth, the thing that kind of runs, it's kind of a common thread through astronauts, especially my second mission was in the Soyuz. My first mission on the shuttle was 15 days long, just a little over 2 weeks. I did 3 spacewalks on that mission. And I had one emergency spacewalk where we had to sew up a solar array, which was crazy. And then I get a chance to go in this, I came back and they said, how'd you like to fly again? I said, that'd be awesome. I said, well, that's the good news. The bad news is you have to squeeze in this little Soyuz. And at the end of this, I've got a video of what it looks like out the window coming back through the atmosphere in the Soyuz capsule. But this is what it looks like. There's actually young wheels in there in that tin can. Now, this is Pluto. Of course, I never saw this image when I was a kid, but you remember just a few years ago, we had the New Horizons mission that had a flyby of Pluto. And when this image came back, it's like, whoa, that's cool. And it really is cool. And I got a letter that next week from Ollie. I'll read this to you in case you can't see it. But this letter came to me at my desk in Houston. It said, hello, my name is Ollie. I'm 6 years old, and I'm learning about the solar system. I was wondering about Pluto. Could you please make Pluto a planet again? And I'm like, can I get an amen from Ollie? You know, so I really think he just needs more time to grow to clear his orbit. Earth had a chance, so we should give Pluto a chance too. Yeah, all together. Oh, and that's when I read it. I was like tearing up a little bit. Please think about it. Little guys are important too. Thank you, Ollie. And he drew a little picture of Pluto there, his rendition of Pluto. But this took me all the way back to my childhood, you know, that little kid riding the tricycle, you know. I was thinking to myself, man, this is the beauty of the innocence of an unshattered dream, right? A dream that we haven't placed limitations on this dream yet. And sometimes we do that as humans. We put limitations on ourselves. We let others put limitations on us, and we kind of lose sight of those childhood dreams that we have, those fanciful dreams. Ollie is now 9 or 10 years old, and we're in contact with him, and we're saving a desk for him there in NASA, so you come and join us as well. So the Earth, you know, the colors of the Earth too, I said it's kind of like an explosion of color, but you can begin to see, you can see a landform down there in the left side, the bottom left corner, and then the brilliant blues of the oceans and the coral reefs and things. It's just like a painter's palette, just completely beautiful. And then you see some stark contrast. You know, we often say as astronauts there are no borders in space. You can't really see borders, and you can't even see the border between Ohio and Michigan from space. Anybody listen? Did you catch that one? Okay. So anyway, but you can see borders where there are rivers and streams and our water resources, right? So here's a picture of the Nile River running through the Sahara Desert, and you can see we flock to the water because that's what sustains our life. This is a picture of a volcano. Just the Earth is like a raging ball of life when you look at it during the daytime, and then at night it's even more intense with light and the mosaic of our city lights. But this is a volcano erupting. You can see it tearing a hole in this cloud layer and actually carrying part of that cloud up into the upper part of the stratosphere. In the middle of this screen, that's going back to the Nile River Valley. You can actually see the pyramids. See the pyramids just on the edge of the desert. These are the pyramids in Egypt. I finally was able to get an image of this. This is, of course, with the zoom lens from the space station. One of the big science experiments that we had in space, everything that we're doing on the space station and outside of the space station, inside and out, it's all to make life better here on Earth. That's our end goal. If it's not designed to make life better here on Earth and sustain life, then NASA is not in the business of doing that. So we are here to learn more about, so on board the space station, we have these technology demonstrators. We're trying to stretch our imagination of what's possible. This is the island nation of Madagascar. And before we went, I was trained for about 1.5 years on this experiment. They were telling me about Madagascar, that we had, you know how smart us humans are. So we just cut down all the trees on the middle part of Madagascar, all the rainforest, all the big trees for logging and to clear the earth for farming and things like that. So we cut down all the trees. What we didn't think about is how we need to sustain that resource as well. And you could see the mud all along the south or the lower coast there, and the tributaries are all choked with mud. And this is actually the nutrient-rich topsoil that's washing out from the middle part of the island. And so we had great scientists, some of them here at NASA and came through NASA Glenn as well, that we studied. It was called willow. And we had little willow trees. We had scientists that thought, like, there's something in the tree. We got to get the nutrients back in the soil. And the best, we fertilize our soil, we put mulch in our flower beds and things, and so we try to get nutrients into our soil to grow trees and our flowers and shrubs and things like that. Same thing is true here. All the nutrients washed out of the, so you could go stick a tree in the ground, but there's no nutrients in there, so they were just dying. So it's like we got to get biomass quickly back into the soil to try to build those nutrients back up so we can reforest Madagascar. And so they had this science experiment because the engineer said, or the scientist said, a tree usually has a taproot that goes straight down and then roots that go out to the side for stability and things. And so they're looking specifically at the taproot and said, does it go down because of gravity, or does it go down because that's where the water is? Maybe it's a combination of those things. And so they started studying the genome of the tree, and we had the little willow trees on board the space station in little clips, no soil. We had artificial light that we move around to check the branches to see how the branches would grow. And then we had a water source that we displaced from the root system, but close to the root system. And then we moved it around too to watch the roots. And could it sense where the water is in the absence of gravity? And it's amazing the things that transpired in that science experiment. And these are things, to this day, we have over 200 experiments just like this ongoing on the space station. So we hope you can come join us if you're a scientist and want to get your science on board the space station and it's used to sustain life or make life better here on Earth. These are the apps we're looking for as well, recycling efforts and things like that, and how to return that to the Earth to make this world a better place. And this was in 2010, and so there's a good ending to Madagascar. We're starting to regrow those forests on the middle part of that island. This is what I dreamed I would be doing. This is actually me in the cupola and with my camera and all these cameras around us and just staring out the window. And in reality, this is what I was doing in space. This is me fixing the potty. So when you're developing an app for space, or anything for space, when in the absence of gravity, there are some things that you just don't want floating around the space station, right? So I was up there. I'm an engineer and a test pilot by schooling and trade. And I was up there with two brilliant women PhD scientists, Shannon Walker and Tracy Caldwell Dyson. And I was doing a science experiment one day. We had been up there for maybe 2 weeks into a 6-month mission. And I was just sweating bullets doing my science experiment. I was so afraid I was going to mess up. It's like, yeah, we got the engineer, the test pilot, doing science. I just wanted to prove them wrong, right? So Shannon came up to me and she said, hey, Wheels, the potty's broken. And we had like a little micro burst of panic, right? So we're on a spaceship and the potty's broken. Somebody's got to fix the potty. So I thought, like, I'm an engineer. I can fix the potty. She said, if you fix the potty, I'll do all of your science for the rest of the day. I said, that's a deal. So we did the floating high five, and this is me fixing the potty. Unfortunately, I got a chance to do this about 8 or 9 times during that 6 months. This is the back, in the soft white underbelly, the underworkings of the potty on the space station. And it took me about an hour and a half, but I fixed the potty. And I figured out in that hour and a half, if you're trapped on a spaceship and you can fix the potty, you're king of the universe out there. So, and then this is what, just like the spacewalk, I got a chance to do 6 spacewalks, and this is what I was always dreaming it would be like. And this is actual GoPro footage from outside on a spacewalk. So you can see that brilliance of the Earth. We're actually in low Earth orbit, so we're pretty close to the Earth. And in daylight hours, you're actually, the glow of the Earth is just enveloping you. And this is what I dreamed, without maybe with the cool music like this as well. But this is actually what was happening. It was July 31st of 2010, and the caution warning panel went off, all these cautions, and we had a major malfunction on the space station. I remember it was a Saturday night, and so here we go again. We got to fix something broken on the space station. After having fixed the potty, now it's a chance to go outside. And this is kind of what life is like in those moments. I get asked a lot, was I ever bored in the 6 months? And it's like, the space station has lots and lots of surprises with you, waiting there for you. And so you never get bored. You're always kind of troubleshooting things that are going wrong. But you can see some of the things, like, look around that cover. You can see it looks like scorch marks. Looks like it's burned around the side of that. That's from atomic oxygen that's escaping the airlock as we open up the hatch. And so that atomic oxygen and the depressurization of the airlock gets trapped in the fibers of that material and actually oxidizes. So it looks like it burned. So actually, that's what that's what space smells like too. It smells like burnt cookies, and you can quote me on that as well. So if you're on Twitter, I'm Astro_Wheels on Twitter, and you could say, like, hey, Astro Wheels just said that space smells like burnt cookies, and it really does. It actually has that kind of an electrical burn kind of smell. I remember coming in from my first spacewalk, and we took our helmets off, and Scott Parazynski was my spacewalking buddy, and he said, hey, Wheels, real quick, smell your suit. And so I smelled my suit, and it smelled like burnt cookies up there. So, okay. All right, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, we could go right into questions and answers here. So anyway, as you go through this little challenge that you have, now life in space, first of all, the things that I thought about now on a 15-day shuttle mission, it was like a sprint the whole way. So I kind of missed home, but I didn't really have time to think about, missing my friends and my family. I was so busy. I got home and I just like slept for 3 days or something. And but on a long duration mission, and we're flying people in space for longer and longer missions for a purpose, because the people that we send, the people that raise their hand that want to go to Mars, with current technology, it's going to take us 8 or 9, several months to get to Mars. And then once we get there, Now the aligning of the planets, Mars at some points is the opposite side of the sun as Earth. So we're going to have to stay on the surface for about a year and then 8 or 9 months back. So you're going to be away from home for about nearly 2.5 to 3 years. And so you have to think about the things that I missed were things that I never really thought of. I thought I'd missed like pizza or something like that, But the things that I missed were like evidence of life. Other than your crewmates, of course, but evidence of life. So all of those things that we think about, that we can hear with our ears, that we can smell, that we can see, that we can feel on our skin, like the wind, the sound of the wind through the trees, the sound of birds, the sound of rain, the smell of the earth after the rain, the smell of the earth as you're walking through the forest, all of the birds singing, all of those things are absent in space. And so the things that we wrestle with in long duration, after about 30 days in space, you begin to feel these deep sense of isolation and separation from all that you know of evidence of life. Because the space station and space is you're on life support out there. And everything, we're recycling everything, and you feel like you're on life support. We're recycling all the air, all of our exhalation. We're recycling all of our water. In fact, we have a joke on the space station that yesterday's coffee is tomorrow's coffee. So let that sink in. And with that, just kind of open your mind to the possibilities, because when you're absent from all of those things, psychological things happen, mental things happen, spiritual things happen when you're separated from everything that you know, and when you feel like you're sustained on life support for a period of 6 months, 9 months, a year, 3 years going to Mars, the things that you have to consider about staying connected to that which you understand to be life. So things like virtual reality, some maybe a helmet that takes you back when you get on the treadmill, that you can put a helmet on and go back to your favorite trail, in the woods that you run or that you walk on, and maybe even have some aroma of the forest or something as you're walking. So all of these things are applications, are things that we can think about as we develop our new spaceships going on back to the moon and onto Mars. So let's go ahead and open it up for questions.
Yes, you mentioned the long duration mission to the moon. So what is the NASA plan to deal with the 70-micron moon dust that the Apollo astronauts found?
Yeah, so these are the biggest challenges are this lunar dust, how to filter that kind of stuff out, radiation, how are we going to deal with that? Of course, we're going to the south pole of the moon, and you might say, you probably have read about this, you can read the literature that's out there. Some of these things we discovered about the south pole of the moon, when you look at it through a telescope, you can see what looks like a mountain range there. It's actually the rim of a crater. There's a big impact crater on the backside of the moon down near the South Pole. And we found that through mass spectrometry over the South Pole from our lunar reconnaissance orbiter that's around there. So some of these things, we have to solve some of these things. I mean, this suit is not going to cut it on the moon, So, I mean, this is great with no gravity, but it weighs 350 pounds. So, and this is 35, 40-year-old technology that you see here. And so these are some of the things we have to wrestle with. Not only the dust on the moon and how to filter that out. You guys saw the movie The Martian, right? So very similar things. I mean, you think about it, because none of the things that we enjoy here on Earth are out there on the moon or on Mars. And also we have no protective atmosphere there as well. Now we have, what we can have is like in situ, if we find water ice or something like that, we can, of course, make some fuel, we can breathe some, we can drink it, we can breathe the oxygen off of that water as well. But some of these things, these are technology things that we have to solve before we go back to the moon. Yeah, the dust has the smell of gunpowder, much like the vacuum smell of the suit, the burnt cookies. That's right. The gunpowder is another. Or when you strike a match and then you extinguish the match and smell that match, it's that kind of smell. That's what space smells like as well. It's a great question, and we're working on that now with not only our spacesuits but our habitats that we're going to have on the surface as well. We have to solve these issues of how to sustain life on. Absolutely. That's right. It messes. Yeah, that's right. It messes with mechanical systems and yeah, they take a beating. There, those suits that the Apollo astronauts came back in. I mean, they're just covered with the lunar dust. So.
Oh, geez. I have two questions. So when you say doing stuff that emulates home, is NASA switching from more, I guess, physical, taking care of astronauts and their physical body to like a more holistic approach where they're trying to look after them mentally and stuff like that with a longer space flight?
It's something we need to solve for sure. The psychological aspects. Now, on the space station, if you start really missing home, you can just look out the window and you can see your beautiful planet there, Going on to Mars, from the moon, you could, gateway, or from the surface of the moon, you could come up over the hill and see the Earth as well. But going to Mars, now you're not going to be able to see any signs of life. And oh, by the way, any kind of communication is going to be extremely delayed. I think anywhere from like 9 minutes to like 23 minutes or something like that is the time delay in a radio transmission from the. So we have to solve these problems because, yes, the answer to your question is we're looking at the whole person, the whole man, the whole woman, concept of being able to maintain health mentally, behaviorally, physically, spiritually, the whole person, keeping them connected to what could sustain them psychologically. That's probably, other than the physical radiation and things like that, the next biggest hurdle is this psychological issue. So now, that's where you guys come in. We're smart people because you can develop like virtual things, right? That you can take somebody back to a place that's a place of comfort for them to assist them psychologically. So. No.
And my second question is, this kind of got in my head when you mentioned drinking the water on Mars. I don't know if you're a fan of Doctor Who, but the water on Mars episode. Does the sheer amount of unknown we have about space ever scare you or other astronauts? Like just the fact that, to a certain degree, no matter how much planning we do for Mars stuff, we're just not going to know everything about what could potentially happen? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was, if you asked me, I was terrified. And especially going out on a spacewalk, because nothing is ever as it seems, and nothing goes ever as planned. And I've done 6 spacewalks, and 4 of them were emergency, like get ready, get your suit on, and get out there and see if we can fix the crippled space station, So I was terrified in all of those things. In fact, this one in 2010 when we had the ammonia pump that leaked, I remember going out and they were telling us all through my training, my years and years of training up until that point, it's like, oh, you can't, liquid ammonia is the cooling medium on the outside of the space station. And it's like 99% pure anhydrous ammonia. So like 1 drop of that inside, this is what we were always told, don't bring 1 drop of that inside, it's going to kill everybody. And the biggest fear we had on the space station, of course, the fire, toxic release into the atmosphere, and rapid decompression, of course. And so, our mantra was like, when the alarms go off, am I on fire? Okay, I'm not on fire, I don't see anything on fire, and my ears popping, because our ears are really good in tune with the delta P on the space station. And then, can I breathe? I was talking to some kids in Scotland, actually, a few months ago. They said, the guy raised his hand, he goes, shouldn't you ask, can I breathe first, and then ask the other 2? Okay. So can I breathe? Am I on fire? Are my ears popping? And so this toxic release into the atmosphere. So the pump broke, And so now we went outside, and I opened up the valve because we were going to replace the pump. I closed that valve, and ammonia started pouring out, and so it was going all over my suit, which you can't hear anything in space because sound doesn't travel through, but I could hear the ping, 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 ping off my visor of the ammonia, getting all over the front of my suit. And so I was terrified to come back inside. And so we baked out in the sun, and I was outside with Tracy Caldwell, and she took one of our metal tools and just let it sit in the sun so it could heat up to 300 degrees. And then she used it like an iron on my suit to get to sublimate it looks like candle wax. The ammonia looks like candle wax on your suit. And so I was terrified. And to this day, so my eyes were damaged on my mission. And so I'm relegated to short duration flight now. After 6 months, I had all this damage to my eyes. There's some literature out there now about vision impairment in long duration space flyers. And mine was a little bit worse. And I know that's one of the components they were looking at, is if I had some atomic level ammonia trapped in my suit when I came out, and that got sort of into my body somehow. So it's like a constant overcoming of fear when we're out there. So
one more question.
Yeah, okay. That was
One
a
more
very,
question.
very long answer. Sorry about that.
So for my question is that, as you were talking about preparing to become an astronaut or believing in yourself, not doubting yourself, I've seen from reading up on astronauts and how people have had flight experience, been in the military, or have a master's degree, and I hope to pursue a master's degree in mechanical engineering, and I was hoping you can give me some insight on a pathway that would make me more qualified and prepare me to become an astronaut, whether it be flight experience or just pursuing my degree.
Okay, great question. And actually, it was it brought up the one thing that I wanted to mention. On this spacewalk, 2 women outside today, Jessica Meir and Christina Cook. And Christina went to North Carolina State, a state school. Jessica went to Brown, an Ivy League school. And so the first thing I want you to relax about, it doesn't matter where you get your degree from when you come to work for NASA. Now, what's important to us at NASA is your level of curiosity and your ability to innovate and clear your mind of all these barriers that so my recommendation to you is, first of all, mechanical engineering is a wonderful place to start if you want to find yourself end up here at NASA. What we're looking for more is like a problem-solving mindset and someone who's not afraid to try something new. And so we like to look for people that are curious, like insatiably curious about the world around them. So, I mean, somebody that's just like driven, I want to know why that's happened that way. And don't just accept things as they are because somebody told you that. Do your homework and be curious about the world around you. Then find something you love to do. So now, everybody's path in the astronaut corps is different than the next person. And that's the beauty of it, because there's not one clear path. It's like a passion that you develop for the thing that you've chosen that you love to do. Yours sounds like engineering. For someone else, it might be some sort of science, like a life science, or math, or something in the medical sciences, or something like that. And find that passion, find the thing that you're passionate about, and then work and study in that area. And it's like a lather, rinse, repeat on a shampoo bottle, right? So you try new things. You fail. The other thing is failure. What's going to be the key for you is how you handle failure. Because, we always have the catchphrase at NASA, failure is not an option. Well, actually, in this kind of business, failure is your only option, because that's the only way we learn is through failure, right? So, you do the best you can. It's like, and you've developed this camaraderie in your team where everybody does their job. Let's give it a try. And let's okay, that didn't work, so let's try something different. And so when you find out what you're curious about and find your passion, something that you love to do, and then work and study so hard in that area of study that you get to a point where people can't take their eyes off of you. That should be your goal. I mean, that's the goal. That was LeBron's goal, right? In basketball. That's all of our sports stars. You want to be so good at your chosen profession that people cannot take their eyes off of you. And the way you do that is find something you love to do. And it could be, and if it's somewhere in the STEM fields, you know, and even STEAM now with the arts and graphic arts and things like that, design of spacesuits and things like that. If it's in that area, then that's the first place to start. And develop that passion and then work so hard that be like, man, I can't take my eyes off of that guy. We need to call him in for an interview. And that's our goal, is to find people that are so passionate about what they're doing that we can bring them in and change the world. So.
Thanks, Doug.
Okay,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, so, actually we wanted to
Oh, thank you
a
very
little
much.
gift,
Thank you.
So let's all thank Doug Wheelock for coming out and giving us a presentation. Like Sarah said, we're probably going to take like a 10-15 minute break. Can we do selfies with?
Yeah, I could stick
Yeah,
around.
if we
We'll do
could,
some
yeah.
selfies, and then actually up here by the suit would be kind of cool,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then if you're on Twitter, I don't do. I'm not on Facebook and Instagram yet. I need to
We're
come
on
out of this.
Instagram.
I need to come out of the Stone Age, but I was on Instagram, but anyway, it's too high tech for me. So. But if you're on Twitter, if you have a question that I didn't get to, I'm @astro_wheels, okay? And just tweet me if you have a question that I wasn't able to answer. I'll follow you, and we'll chat on there as well. And so, have a great time in this challenge, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy NASA Glen. This is very historic. We're on hallowed ground here at this center. So, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening.
Yep.
Thank you.
Saving one of my 75th
Oh yeah,
anniversary
that's
photo.
right. That's right.